Hello everyone, today we'll be doing O-Level Biology, chapter number 6, Nutrition in Mammals. Please subscribe the channel before watching the video, so let's continue. So first of all, we want to discuss the definition of nutrition, which is the intake of food and the processes that convert food substances into living matter is called nutrition. For example, the taking of food and those processes. I am just writing the processes right now. So basically, nutrition comprises of the following processes, and these are 4 processes. So let's go to the first process. So the first process includes of feeding, and just like we feed a baby, same ways feeding. In our human body, how is feeding done? So we feed ourselves through our mouth, which is quite clear. So first of all, I'd just like to name all the processes. So we've done with feeding, now digestion, I've written it. And after digestion, the third important process that takes place is absorption. So absorption also is the third one, and after absorption comes the one and only assimilation, the last process. So after, these are the 4 processes that nutrition comprises of. So let's go on to the first process, feeding. Feeding is the intake of food into the body. And we all know, as I've discussed earlier, that we take food through our mouth. And feeding is just like, as I've really said earlier, let's just repeat, just like taking food into our mouth. Digestion is when large food molecules are broken down into small food molecules, which are even smaller than the size of our cells. So you can imagine how small these molecules would be. So it's a process whereby large food molecules are broken down into soluble and diffusible molecules. Soluble, that can be gone into our cells and mixed with other water and other substances, and so they even have to be smaller than our cells. So you can imagine how small they have to be. And then these food substances are later absorbed into the body cells. So now moving on, I'm just writing it for you, which can later be absorbed in the body. It's actually into the body, there wasn't enough space, so that's why I've written in body. So now moving on to absorption. Absorption is a not vast process, but it is, we'd be studying it in the next few lessons, but it's really nice process. You'll enjoy learning it. So it's the process whereby digested food materials are taken into the body cells. So as we can guess from the name, it's when the digested food molecules, they are absorbed into our body cells. That's called absorption, a simple definition. And these absorption is mainly done in the small intestine. We'll be discussing it in detail afterwards, but it's actually, we can say, only done in the small intestine, in the duodenum, the first part, and so on in the second part, duodenum and ileum. So assimilation, moving on, assimilation is the process where some of the absorbed food materials, which are now absorbed into our body, now we're kind of like it's assimilation comes from the word assembling. Assembling mean kind of arranging things in something. So assimilation is the process whereby some of the absorbed food materials are converted into new protoplasm or used to provide us energy, and they are they can be converted to anything from our liver cells to whatever is required in the body. So that's what they are converted to, and this is kind of mainly the function of assimilation. And we'll study all these processes in detail in the next few lessons. So stay tuned and please subscribe the channel until I'm writing. And so I'd also like to give you some more examples of assimilation. I'm writing it on the paper, so every one of you note it, who are not even taking notes during the lesson, every one of you. So for example, assimilations example, like how the food molecules are converted into living matter, it includes new protoplasm. We've studied it in the second chapter of cells. It includes cytoplasm, cell surface membrane, and also the nucleus. So now, new protoplasm, or one more example, is used to provide us energy, as I've said earlier. So now we'll discuss a very important thing, like after I completed that, how do animals get feeded? We know that we get feeded by the mouth, but how do they get feeded? So let's just write the question quickly. How do animals get feeded? So we all know we get feeded through our mouth, and then chewing and all that. This is very basic, you guys have studied it in 8th class and so on. Now, how do animals feed? They feed, of course, by getting food, of course, meat, or whether it's from vegetables or meat. But they feed by ingesting. Ingesting means by taking or eating, you can say simply, in other words. So animals feed by ingesting ready-made complex organic matter. We don't make our food ourselves, like plants make their food themselves, and there's also a process which is named by that is photosynthesis. Everybody knows it. So we feed by taking ready-made complex organic matter, which is ready-made, so whether it's solid or liquid, and this is obtained from other organisms, for example meat and vegetables, we can say. So everybody knows meat we eat, that meat is also indirectly coming from the plants. So this meat is, first of all, let's just make arrows and tell you, this meat is coming from animals, and these vegetables, they are coming from plants. But and some people just differentiate, but both of them are actually coming from organisms. They both are different organisms. And if we see on another way, this meat is also coming actually from the plants. So moving on, feeding on this ready-made complex organic matter is known as Holozoic nutrition. I'm just writing this whole line, it's very important, the start of our chapter. So feeding on ready-made complex matter that I've just explained earlier is known as Holozoic nutrition. This is very important, and all of us have special organs or organ systems for nutrition. For example, the mouth and the gut. Gut is used to refer the alimentary canal here, and in mammals the organ system is for nutrition is specially well developed, and it's very nice. Okay, so moving on, I'm just writing an arrow for you guys so nobody confuses that they're separate organisms. This is actually also coming from plants, not vegetables, but plants, it's okay. And now we'll discuss about digestion. So this Holozoic nutrition, before we discuss about digestion, Holozoic nutrition is found in animals, and it does not only involve taking of food, but it also taking of food, most like this is the main difference, that it's taking of food, but it does not only involve ingestion, it also involves digestion, absorption, and assimilation. And be careful, ingestion of ready-made complex matter, and involves also, and this process also involves digestion. I'm just writing it for you guys again. And found in animals is humans. I've also written it, but if anybody does not, it gets out of their mind, but still. And so absorption, I last time wrote B with absorption, but it's from P, sorry. And absorption, okay. And now assimilation. These four processes: feeding on ready-made complex matter, then digestion, absorption, assimilation, and then this is all Holozoic nutrition. Now we discuss the two types of digestion. There are two types of digestion. One of them is physical digestion. Be careful. And the second one is, it's chemical digestion. So these are two types of digestion, and both of them happen in our body. And for example, in the stomach, both of them happen in churning. When the stomach churns, we'll learn it on yourselves. I'll just explain you in the next onward videos. But physical digestion refers to the churning that happens in the stomach. For ones who have just gave a reading to the chapter. And chemical happens also in the chewing, physical, yeah, but for the stomach it's in the churning. And in chemical is done by enzymes, not, and by enzymes the hydrolysis one. Be careful, the enzymatic hydrolysis of food substances is chemical digestion. Now enzymatic means that is done by enzymes, and hydrolysis means hydro refers to water, lysis means breakdown. So in other words, I'm writing it collectively in a simple words, chemical digestion is the breaking of food substances into smaller molecules through enzymes with the help of water. And physical digestion is the simple or mechanical or physical breakdown of food into smaller pieces from larger particles, of course. Just writing mechanical for all of you. This is the first part of this chapter. Subscribe to watch the second part.